Hello, Top Fan Rivalry family. It's a good time to be together. It's Wednesday night. We're typically together middle of the week. Yes. I'm super excited about this. We're going to have Jonna joining us shortly. Great gal. She's just had some pretty special experiences happen to her. She's going to tell you all about it. I think Mikey's going to be joining us in a little bit tonight. That's going to be a good time. We're going to have an hour worth of a lot of fun. Let's not forget, though, let's not forget that, let's not forget, oh, actually, Mikey won't be joining us. He just sent me a message. Let's not forget that we will be having lots of fun next week with our good friend Leslie and her info. And here we go. Here's Jonna. Yes. What's up, Jonna? How are you?
Hello, I'm tired. I am good though. I feel very anxious because I've just done nothing but like blab for the last several hours about my trip.
Okay, so that's where we're going to get. Before we do that, let's pay some of the bills. Um, anyways, love our corporate sponsors. We love the people that help us out. You're going to be in California. You're going to be by Anaheim Stadium. You got to go over to Bruheim, get yourself something to drink. I'm not a drinker. I hear the beer's good. They've got really good Sprite over there. Everybody's going to make fun of me for that, Jonna, but they got really good Sprite. They always got good food trucks over there. So I love being over there. That being said, let's get started. Let's get into this. You did something special. What did you do this last week that was so awesome?
Just hanging out on the Disney World campus. Just chilling at Disney World. No, I attended my very first MLB winter meetings and it was an incredible experience.
Yeah, it's Disney World is always fun. So, but you attended winter meetings. Forget about Disney World. Let's talk about the winter meetings. Disney World, there's a
The funny
mouse
thing is,
there.
we were right at Disney World and we never even got to go to Disney World. We were just so busy the whole time.
Okay, so tell you get off the plane, you're jazzed, you're all kinds of everything. But tell me what's going through your mind as you get off the plane and you realize what's happening. Take us through the whole experience, the first day. Let's just start with the first day. Take us through. Now, if you
Okay,
guys can't tell,
so
by the way, Jonna is a huge Mets fan. You can see it in her background over there. She's really having a tough time right now. The Mets, um, have traded for just about everybody. No, I'm teasing. She's a Yankees fan, but walk us through everything, please.
so funny, let's back it up to me even getting on the plane. Like as
Okay.
I get to the airport, I look up, I get to my gate, and who do I see? Rachel Balkovic, who is in the Marlins front office. She's a
Right.
former Yankees single A manager, and she's an Omaha native. So, I'm from Omaha. So, uh, but it was shocking just because she doesn't live here. Her family does. So I, of course, approached her, and I think she was probably a little caught off guard because she was like, should I know you? Or also just maybe didn't want to be bothered. But I was just like, I actually headed to the winter meetings too, and I'm a big fan of yours, whatever. And then she was getting a phone call. I mean, she works in the front office, so
Yeah.
understandably, she's on the phone the whole time. But she was like, maybe we can catch up when we connect in Nashville. And sure enough, she sought me out in Nashville. She asked me if I wanted to share an Uber. And I wasn't going to the same hotel she was, so it didn't work out. But she's like, well, when we get to Orlando, I'll wait at baggage and we can chat for a little bit. And so we did. And she was so kind, not shockingly, but that was really cool. And I felt like, wow, this is a good omen for going into the winter meetings, like going, somebody I really truly look up to and idolize and respect, obviously a lot
Right.
of respect for her and the hoops that she had to jump through to get where she is today. So I was like, wow, that's a good omen for this whole trip. So
Great omen.
yeah, that's how we started out. And then so we got there Saturday and things started to kick off on Sunday. So we went and, got our media pass and thought we would just walk around, kind of get the lay of the land a little bit.
Yep.
Um, And right as I turned the corner, there's the Yes Network, which is, you know, the Yankees network. So I was really jazzed to see that. It was a nice, big, huge setup that they had a little stage and a backdrop where they did all their network stuff. So that was really cool. And I, of course, asked them if I could take a picture with the backdrop behind me, and they were kind to let me do that. But yeah, then I got a chance to talk to Jack Curry, who is, you know, a Yankees Yes Network reporter, longtime Yankees broadcaster. And so I went up to him. I was like, Jack, I just want to introduce myself quickly. And he goes, I know who you are. You're JP Yankees girl. And I'm like, huh? I mean,
Come again?
yeah. I was like, that's probably not a good thing that you know my Twitter account, that people around here at the meetings know my Twitter, because, you know, I can get a little, I put my
That,
thoughts out there, I guess,
that's
candidly.
what Twitter's for. That's what
Yeah.
Twitter's for, my friend.
You know, then we keep walking, we see the John Boy crew, and we've kind of become friends with them over the next couple of days. And that was really neat. It was wild. I just rapid fire questions and I'll answer anything. I don't know where you want me to go with it, but I
No,
have a lot of stories
I
to
love
tell.
it. I love it. So we've got the show's an hour long. John is going to stick with us for as long as she possibly can. Now, just so that you know, I see we've got 43 people on here right now. If you want to ask questions or have comments, feel free to put them in the comment section. I'm going to actually enable that portion of it, but please be kind. Please be polite. If you're rude, I'll delete the comment and or just, you know, stop showing them. So Jonna was nice enough to come on tonight, and we love her for that. I could spend the next 3 hours, everybody, bragging about this lady. She has been absolutely fantastic to both her brand and the Top Fan Rivalry brand. So, like I said, please be kind. I'm going to enable them right now, but feel free to put in your comments that you would like. All right, now, Miss Jonna, let's start. So the whole cab sharing thing, I love that. Okay, but talk to me for a second. When you found out you were going through, I believe it was on Jersey, correct?
Yeah, on New Jersey.
On New
So
Jersey. Got
ONNJ Sports.
it. Okay. So tell me what it was like when you got the phone call, or you got the message or whatever that you were going to this. Was it kind of like you felt like, oh my gosh, I've just been called up type thing?
Absolutely. Oh my gosh, yes. It was like, it was just one of those things where you throw, you know, like tack to the wall to see if it sticks, right? Like, it's
Yeah.
like, let's just see what happens. We're going to apply. Like, worst thing they can do is deny us. You know, we won't be surprised, because MLB events, as many people here know, are really hard to get approved for,
Yeah.
especially a league-wide event like that, where, you know, you're going to have people like even worldwide trying to apply to go to this thing. And as you know, I mean, you saw some pretty big people out there who got denied
Mhm.
credentials. Gary Sheffield Jr. got denied. Jared Carabas got denied. I can't think of who else. Dallas Braden, the A's broadcaster.
Yeah.
So a lot of big names, right? So then we're kind of like, was this a mistake? Are you sure that we're approved? And we just can't seem to figure out why we got approved for this, because, you know, I mean, we're not anything special. You know, it's like there's a lot of people that wanted to be there, and a lot of important people, and people doing really cool things. And I know, like, I got declined for the College World Series last year, which was really shocking, because I had covered the last couple of years, you know, and you know, I'm an Omaha native, and so I, if anyone, know how cool and special the College World Series and how meaningful it is for the state of Nebraska to get to host that. So I was a little bit like, you know, I mean, it's kind of a kick to the ego a little bit, or to the gut, and it's like you got to get back on the horse. And you just know sometimes, like, those things happen and something better's on the horizon, and here we are.
Right.
So we got the approval. We were shocked. We went through a state of like, is this a joke?
Is this for
And
reals?
yeah,
Somebody
we
pinch
showed
me.
up and there was a pass with our name on it. So it was golden from there
Yeah.
on.
Okay. So you feel so recently I interviewed Gary Gaetti. Do you remember Gary Gaetti?
Yes, that sounds familiar.
twins.
Yeah, that's pretty cool.
Yeah, so recently I interviewed Gary Gaetti, and I asked him the same question I just asked you. Like, what did it feel like when you got called up? Like, what was that emotion? Like, when you got to the locker room and then you walked through the tunnel and you walked into the dugout knowing that you belong there. Like, so you just described knowing that you belong there. And then instantly you hit the jackpot. You want to, share in a cab and things like that. So tell me maybe one of the moments that you had when you were there. You bump into, like you said, the Yes Network. You bumped into a bunch of different people. But tell me a little bit more about some of the people that you hoped that you'd bump into that you actually did, whether you interacted with them or not.
I
Just
think the Yes Network was a big one for me. I watch them. I spend 162 days out of the year with them, right? So they're like family to me. I've put out posts that like, those are the voices of my childhood, even like
yeah,
Michael Kay.
yeah,
And, Michael Kay's been there forever. And we get very fortunate opportunity to listen to players that we grew up watching, Paul O'Neill, David Cohn, Joe Girardi. So hearing these voices on the network and then meeting them in person is extremely surreal, humbling, and they're just as kind and awesome in person as you would, hope
you
that
would
they would
hope and
be.
think. Yeah.
Yeah, and so that was a surreal experience bumping into the Yes Network. Like I said, Jack Curry. We've had some exchanges on Twitter, so it was cool that he remembered and was kind enough to even give us some advice on young people in media and things that we can work on. And, he said, I always tell my kids, I always tell, our interns, what do you do to get better at basketball? You shoot more free throws, you practice. And so he was kind of trying to tell us, when you're behind the camera, sometimes you say too much, or I know I do that a lot on here, and so
Yeah.
I catch myself. But he's like, just more practice with those things. So he gave us some really solid advice. That was cool. um jumping bumping into Joe Girardi was so surreal for me. Yeah, that
So
was.
what do you ask Joe? Like, did you, I mean, because I saw the pictures of it, I saw you post about it. What did you, if you had, first I want to know what you asked him, but second of all, if he would have said, hey, Jonna, let's go, I'm going to grab a sandwich. Why don't you come join me for a sandwich? And you had 20 minutes with the guy. What do you want to ask him about?
I mean,
So
I
first
would
start with
want
the
to
first
ask
one and then the
about
second
like
one.
some of the most memorable games that he played, right? Things like that. I think I would want to know about uh, who's on his baseball monument. Like what player did he not get to play with that he would want to play with? That he would have wanted to play with. Who did he emulate himself after his game after? Things like that. What pitcher did he feel like he had the best chemistry with? Um,
Mhm.
maybe some things about Joe playing for Joe Torre. I mean, I don't know. I could come up with a million questions for him. But the thing, the exchange we had was I said, yeah, I'm kind of, because I'm amateur here, and I don't want to like take too much of people's time. And I just grew up that way too, where my dad was kind of like, we don't burden people, and so I definitely was trying to just be very respectful of people's time. And
Mhm.
I turned around and there's Joe Girardi. I of course have to approach him, but I said, Joe, I'm Jonna. I'm a Yankees writer, and I said, I wrote a book about you in 1998, and I was in second grade then. And he said, what was the book about? And I said, the 1998 Yankees. And so he he was like, wow, 98, second grade. I feel old. That makes me feel old. um,
Good
so he
job,
was
Jonna. Good
so great
job.
and kind, and like we took a picture together. Of course, you saw that. And my mom, she is the best ever at saving things. We used to make fun of her because she would like she's a hoarder. She saves everything,
Mhm.
and thankfully she did because I have all of these things and these receipts from like the 90s when, I noted him as one of my favorite players. I had written in my journal in third grade, and we were practicing our penmanship. And so that's how we would do that is we kept a journal and we would do these journal entries. And I was writing about like, do you know that I've been to 3 Yankee games and I like other teams, but not as much as the Yankees. But I do like baseball a lot. So yeah, that was my journal entry, and I'd written about Joe Girardi. So that was cool to
Nice.
have the story to tell, I guess.
Nice. I love that. I love that. So before we go farther, there's always a couple things I want to do um, at the kind of at the quarter points. First of all, go to topfanrivalry.com, go into the clubhouse. It's free. Check out everything that we're doing. I'm going to try to convince my good friend Jonna, who I know is a writer, to write from a fan perspective what it was like to be at the winter meetings. And we're going to put it right up in the clubhouse if I can convince her. So by all means, everybody, like, put it up on the screen how much you want to hear about it. Jonna, I'm going to share this comment right now. This is from Phil from Shirley. Good friend. Got to know him quite a bit. He does a lot of lives. Love this guy. Do you see that comment there? Do you? I mean,
Yeah,
it's hard, right?
Yeah, but like I don't want to sound cruel, but I do feel for them, and I have some very good friends. As you know, my colleague who was with me is a diehard Mets fan, so of course I'm feeling for her today. But I have to say, they did not give us very much grace when they got Juan Soto, and they were nasty about it for a little while. And even though we felt a little bit betrayed as well, so it's part of the game, it's part of the business. I feel bad, I do, but I mean, that just comes back to bite you, and maybe it'll tell you how to not treat other fan bases, I guess.
Can we just get this on record right now, Jonna? You do not, if I showed you my text messages and some of my social media messages, can you please help me with something? Can you tell the whole universe that's going to rewatch this and or the 74 people that are currently watching it, can you tell them it's not my fault? I don't own the Dodgers. Can you please tell me that it's not my fault about Edwin Diaz? I had nothing to do with it, everybody. Stop blaming me. I did nothing. I woke up and I heard about it.
Yeah, it's like people, I don't know. It's an interesting situation going on. I'm not sure what's going on in Queens. I think they're falling apart a little bit. I know a fan who's also a reporter who put out there a funny little spin. He said, I think that this means that now the Yankees are going to lose out on Bellinger and also not be able to piece together their bullpen. So they tried to spin it in a way where it was like, this is how we're going to spin this in a way that it's beneficial to us. It's going to hurt the Yankees that this is happening because they think now they have more pull to pull in Bellinger. But in my opinion, there's a disaster going on, that probably more things that we don't know about, but we've heard about a lot of it, right? There's a lot of drama going on over there. And I don't know why Cody Bellinger would want to step into that. I truly don't. And I think seeing how things played out for Juan Soto, not in the most beneficial way. I don't want to be mean, but I think I don't know why he would want to leave what worked so well and where he thrived. He loved the Yankees. I mean, I know Juan Soto did too, but not everyone's chasing the highest dollar in baseball.
Correct. Not everybody's chasing it. Okay, so back to your experience, okay? Because I love this. Now, I got a picture, everybody. I got a text message today that Jonna took a picture with the 2024, 2025, and 2026 World Series champion manager, Dave Roberts. What are you laughing about, Jonna? I didn't say anything funny. But like, you got to hang out. You missed him. It sounds like you missed him, but you got a little good photo of him, right?
We definitely made some good eye contact. I think he saw me there. He knew maybe I wanted to talk to him. He was tied up a little bit, and then my attention took me elsewhere, so I never made it back over to talk to him. Mm-hmm. But yes, I definitely was standing like 2 feet from the World Series champ, Dave Roberts. That was cool. It's a humbling experience as well.
Back is that correctly? Am I saying that right?
There's only one three-peating team in baseball, and that's going to remain
the Bronx Bombers, huh?
Yeah, only one three-peat.
Okay, so you fangirled out. You met a few people. Who did you fangirl out about? Like you had to fangirl out on a few different occasions. Where did you fangirl out?
My gosh, I mean, as I mentioned, Rachel Balkovic was one because as a female in the sport, like she's been a pioneer, so that was really cool to see. I, got to talk to Meredith Morakovitz in the bathroom. I offered her some makeup and hairspray, and that was a cool exchange. It's like this is what happens with women behind the scenes. You got to freshen up, and I was like, I have everything right here if you need to borrow it. It was really cool. That was cool. So obviously, like women in the sport uh, to start with, but like everyone, I mean, it's pretty surreal when you're walking down the hallway and like every other person, it's like, oh, there's Ken Rosenthal. Oh, there's John Heyman. Oh, there's Joel Sherman. Oh, like Brian Cashman. We made some good eye contact too. And I think he's noticed that I wanted to speak to him too, but that it was really interesting. A lot of people's PR people follow them and they like really pull them out of situations pretty quickly.
As they should.
Yeah, and so they don't really, you don't see the GMs hanging out a whole lot, and even like the managers, it's like they'd pull them out pretty quickly
Yeah.
too. But a lot of fangirling things. It was cool to hang out and kind of become friends with the John Boy crew. We had one of my favorite ones that I haven't spoke to is Amber Sabathia, CC Sabathia's wife, who's now an agent, and when she was a WAG, this was 10 years ago, but I just remember being like, she is the coolest WAG ever. Like she always has the most swag, the best like custom jackets. And I used to try to like hand make, and I still do sometimes, like hand make my own bedazzled like Yankees jackets and stuff. I try to do one like every year before opening day. And it's like, that's where I kind of got my inspiration. I love what her and Cece do for the youth and the community. And so, yeah, she acted like we were like best friends. I was like, Amber, oh, hi, and she came over, gave me a big hug. She's like, and I'm like, Amber, I am so in love with you. Like you're the best WAG ever that ever wagged. And then she saw Aaron Boone, and so she went and gave him a big hug, who was standing 6 feet away from us. And she then made it a point to come back to me to talk to me some more after that. So it's just exchanges like that where you're like, man, these people are truly very kind, normal people, just like you would expect. And one of the best experiences I had too was getting to sit on Pat Murphy. It's true. He does ask media members to introduce them all or themselves ahead of, doing anything with them. And that was cool. Like I got to do that and participate in that. And I think he does that because he wants people to feel comfortable in his presence.
Yeah.
And it works and people love it. So yeah, he then like dubbed us the Jersey Girls. So we'd see him in the hall after and he would be like, how you doing, Jersey Girls? And he's standing there talking to executives. So just people like that who make you feel like you belong here and you're not amateur. Nobody treated us like we didn't know what we were doing because we really didn't know what we were doing. But we figured it out, and nobody treated you that way. It was really cool how much like human interaction there was.
So one of the things that I love about professional sports is when people realize where they came from. Because not everybody, I mean, baseball's ran by a bunch of human beings, but they get kind of instant celebrity status when they step on the field or the front office or buy a team or whatever it might be. And I love when people are just human to other humans, right? Because you don't get that all the time. And that drives me crazy when you don't get that.
Yeah, no, I totally agree. It was a very humbling experience because like I said, they just treat you like you're a normal human being, just like they are,
Okay. Give me three people that you were hoping that you would meet and you didn't. Who were three people that, and I think I know the answer to one or two of these, but three people that you were hoping would be there and they weren't there. or at least you didn't get a chance to meet them?
Like I have to be honest, I didn't have like super high hopes or expectations, I guess, not hopes, expectations probably. Because I don't think I realized how close we would be to all of these people.
Okay.
So I think I was just starstruck anyway, that I don't think I walked away like, man, I wish I would have seen this person. But there was one person I didn't get to talk to who has been so kind to me in my journey, and that's Sean Casey. He was there, obviously, because he was doing some of the MLB Network coverage. He and his old podcast co-host, I had his podcast co-host on my podcast about a year and a half, maybe I guess we're coming up on probably 2 years ago. And ever since then, and he has Emmy Awards for working for ESPN, MLB Network, and now he's running the social media team at the New York Post. So between him and Casey, who are very, very close friends, they've been really cool, great supporters of mine. And so I was hoping to introduce myself in person because we've had some great social media interactions. Other than that, I mean, just anyone in the Yankees system. I really wanted a chance to talk to Aaron Boone, and we were very close to each other, but then he went up on stage for the Yes Network broadcast, so I didn't get a chance to talk to him. Obviously I was in line to talk to Brian Cashman, but then he got whisked away. So that happened too. I don't know. I tried to make every opportunity that was, available to me. I tried to take advantage of. So, I mean,
Perfect.
even as a Yankee fan, I went up to John Schneider and I shook his hand and I said, I just want to congratulate you on an excellent season. And, he was really cool and kind too. So even something like that, I was like, you just got to put yourself out there a little bit.
Yeah, 100%. Okay, Jonna, I've got a few more questions for you. I know I promised you a half hour. Do you have some more time to stick around with me?
I'm here. I talk baseball around the clock. So however long you want to do it.
Well, this show is an hour long, and so I would hope that you can stick around for a little bit. I do want to mention one thing. So every other Wednesday, and then when the season starts, Dirty Water Dispatch and Top Fan Rivalry have partnered up to do these every other Wednesday. Leslie Duncan, who is a huge Red Sox fan, will be co-hosting those with me, and you're going to get a chance to be invited to be on that because it'll be a lot of fun during the season. I hear rumors, and I don't know that it's true, but I hear that the rumors are that the Yankees and the Red Sox have a rivalry. I guess I could look that up on the internet, but I'm not sure. Is that true?
That's funny. Yes, of course, of course.
Okay.
But you know what? I did sit on Alex Cora's press conference yesterday, so I was just a few feet away from him, and it was really cool to hear him speak too. And I got some good tea there, I guess, if you will. So
Okay.
Anytime Leslie wants to know what, at this point, it's all accessible to everyone anyway. But
Cora, yeah.
that was neat to sit in on that.
Okay, is there I know we've already talked about this offline. I'm going to save this question towards the end, but is there maybe 2 or 3 people that if you would have saw there and you would have been like, but you just you don't know that you would muster up enough courage to walk up and say, or you'd walk up and say,
Yeah,
who are those 2 or 3 people?
A very easy answer. And
Okay.
I'd like to give you one guess on who you think
Aaron?
in the Yankees system.
Aaron?
Probably yes, but that's not who I was thinking because I had absolutely zero expectation of him being there. Of course, someone in the media.
Ooh, this is a good question. Somebody in the media.
I want people in the chat to try to answer this. So.
Yeah, we're going to save that. So put that in the chat. There's 105 of you on here. Put in the chat. Who do you think that she might be a little nervous on meeting? We'll keep that. We'll keep that there. Is there anybody that during the hot stove? So we're going to talk a little bit about the hot stove. Is there anybody that you would like to see the Yankees either re-sign? You mentioned Cody, either re-sign or really chase after this offseason? Any specific holes you want to fill?
Yeah, and so obviously obviously Cody Bellinger. I think he is just
Yeah.
an excellent fit here. We saw that last year. Um, I think 5 years is a great offer. I don't know like why they wouldn't be satisfied with that. Um, but in any event, I would love to see them get another starter. I think because, Cole and Rodon are going to be out for a little while at the beginning of the season. I don't even know about Clark Schmidt, if he's going to take a little while to ease in. And so um, I'm seeing and hearing and have been for a while. And I think, for over a year, well, actually for 2 years now, I think we have all been wishing there would be an opportunity to get Michael King back. So I would like Michael King to come home to the Bronx. He was great here for us, pitched in the postseason. And so, yeah, I love a reunion there. I love a good reunion story anyway. So those are two guys. And then there's just something about our infield that's just not complete, the left side of the infield. And so I don't know really who I'm targeting at this point. I saw rumors. I don't think they're true anymore, but I did see rumors that they checked in on Corey Seager. I thought, wow, that would be really cool to have Seager and Bellinger back together. Like again, I'm speaking to another reunion, but I was like, wow, that'd be cool. He's a power hitter and a veteran, and so anyway, I don't know really who I'm targeting on like shortstop, but I just don't think what we have right now is quite it.
Yeah. Yeah. Good call. Doug says Donnie Baseball.
That is not who I have in mind because I think like I could break the ice very easily with Donnie Baseball by showing him the picture of me dressed as him for Halloween when I was 5 years old. So I think that I could approach him very easily because I have that like right in my back pocket where I could be like, how many little girls do you know ask to be Donnie Baseball for Halloween? I mean, most 5-year-old girls want to be princesses. So
Is that the one picture that I've seen on social media and that you may have sent me? Is that the one where you have even the eye black?
mm-hmm.
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
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 That's don't mess around. Jonna went deep. Steven went the eye black. It was
I
great.
wish we could post it, but maybe I don't know if people can see it, but I could definitely try to put it up to the screen here.
Yeah.
Maybe people will be able to see it. But as I said, and I don't know if Doug was on here when I said it's a person that works in the media now.
Okay.
Oh, let's see. Oh, there it is.
There you go. Eye black. Got the mustache. There you go.
The perfect little Donnie Baseball.
I love it. I don't know if I sent it to you this morning, but a friend of mine sent me a Reggie Jackson thing where Reggie Jackson was talking about Yogi Berra. Did I send that to you this morning?
No,
So Reggie Jackson was on a panel and he was with a couple of retired people, and he tells a story about Yogi Berra where he and Yogi are at an old timers game. Reggie's already in the hall, Yogi's there, and they're watching the in memorial, right, of all the players that had that year passed away. And Yogi turns to Reggie and says, "Gee, I hope I don't see my name on there anytime." And I'm like, wait a second, you're standing right there. You hope that you're not watching your own name on here? It's like, come on, Yogi.
That's a good point. I'm sure he was saying in a joking way, not
Yeah.
like, oh, hope we don't like. Knowing Yogi, you're right. Like he was trying to slide in a joke right there, I'm sure.
Yeah, like he used to always say, always attend everybody else's funerals because you want them to attend yours.
Because you want them to attend yours, yeah.
Yeah. Thanks, Yogi. Okay. You and I had talked about this offline, but was there any scenario that you were maybe just slightly disappointed with? An experience that maybe you didn't have, or anything that you look back on and said, gee, I wish I could have, or whatever that might be?
Yeah, I think so. The setup was kind of interesting there. they had several ballrooms. One was a media workroom, and they ended up having some of the bigger press conferences in there. And then they had the media press conferences in another ballroom, but they would have two going on at the same time in there, and it would get really loud, and it was hard to hear what the managers were saying at times. And that was good. Aaron Boone went up the first day that they did that, and he was actually one of the first ones. And so I actually landed in the media workroom where Rob Manfred was doing a press conference with Nelson Cruz and Pujols and the Tigers GM, and then they had the president, or yeah, the president of the Dominican Republic. So they were all up on stage. I found myself sitting and listening to that I ended up missing the Aaron Boone press conference. And so that was one where I was like, gosh, dang it, because I would have had the opportunity definitely to ask him anything I wanted to. I'd even asked on Twitter, like, what questions do people have for him? So I had a lot of people who had commented with things that I should ask. And I would have definitely had a one-on-one time to ask him questions. So that was a bummer. I also missed John Schneider's. I was hoping to try to hit like all the AL East. I was obviously really interested in what they all had to say. But I was sitting there, I was listening to Pat Murphy, and I don't regret sitting in on his. He was definitely like, why are you Jersey girls sitting in on mine? And then he made a comment like, I'm a Springsteen fan, and then he dubbed up the Jersey girls after. So that was fun, and I don't regret that at all. But there were definitely some where I was like, dang it, I wish I would have been able to sit in on that one. Or I'm trying to think. I think I don't know, there were a few things I probably would have done differently or wish I could have been part of, but I think overall, like I said, I definitely tried to take advantage of every opportunity possible, including going up to people and talking to them.
Okay, that's fair enough. That's fair enough. Okay, Doug gives you another answer to your question. Did he get it right?
That's an excellent answer. Anytime but I also think Susan Waldman is very approachable and would be almost kind of grandmotherly in some ways, and I actually have interacted with her before. So no, that is not the answer, but that's a great answer.
Great answer.
Great guess. Yeah.
Great guess. Okay, so was there kind of that feeling when you were leaving? How do I say this? You know how when you have something that you look forward to, and when it's over, you have that feeling of, oh, this was great, but you also have that feeling of, oh, this is over. Did you kind of have that feeling as well as you were leaving?
1000%. I cannot tell you how many times I actually had, like, in my queue, a flight switch. I was going to change my flight and stay another day. Like several times I was going to do that. And then I'm like, no, I should probably walk away with this the way that it went down and just be grateful for the way it went down. Because if I stay another day, like maybe something weird will happen where I'll be like, oh, I regret doing that. It's something you say or do that it's like, oh, I should never have done. Like then it just haunts you, and you lay down at night and you're like, gosh, did I really say that? So it went very smooth, and I was very happy with how everything went. So I'm trying to just like live in that, where I'm like grateful for how it all, happened.
How it all shook out at the end of the day.
But you're right. Like I definitely have the blues today, and I'm very grateful for your, reaching out and having me come on, because any chance I can to talk about baseball, I just like love that. So
of course,
I'm really happy to talk about it tonight.
Of course. Before I ask you one or two final questions as we wrap up, tell everybody where they can find you on social media so that they know because a lot of these people probably are very familiar with you, but some aren't. And I've been getting text messages from people saying, hey, I've never seen you have this person on. She's super cool. So tell everybody where they can find you, first of all.
on my Twitter, I do mostly personal use on there. So it's at 90s Yanks Kid. And so that should give you another clue to who I would have loved to see that I didn't get to see. And so 90s Yanks Kid on Instagram, you can follow my personal one. I mostly share all the things from my media page on there anyway. But you can find that if you go to my baseball media page at Babes Media. And then also who I was there on behalf of was On New Jersey Sports. So you can follow them at ONNJ Sports on every platform.
Love it. Love it. Love it. And also, like I had mentioned before, make sure you're following her. Make sure if you came in through Top Fan that you're either subscribing to the YouTube page or following us on Facebook or Twitter. We do have a thing called a Clubhouse, topfanrivalry.com/clubhouse. You can check that out. That's all the doings of what we're doing. I write articles in there. Fans write articles in there. Jonna may actually sneak in there if she ever has time. Now, I mean, I had to make 5 calls to her agent today just to confirm. And it was a hard-fought negotiation, but we were able to get her on tonight. I mean, she's definitely in demand as a Yankees fan.
If we have a moment before we jump off, I'll play a little clip, just a sound bit that will tell you who it was that I would have loved to see, but I would be too scared probably in my boots to go up to.
I think I know who it is, but I'm not going to say. Go ahead and play it now. Let's hear it. Let's go ahead and play it now.
Introduce our next announcer. We turn to the voice of legendary New York Yankee public address announcer Bob Shepard, who passed away this weekend at the age of 99.
Yep.
Now batting for the American League from the New York Yankees, the shortstop, number 2, Derek Jeter, number 2.
Yep. That's exactly who I was thinking you were going to say.
I don't know what I would say to Derek Jeter if I had the chance. So that is definitely who I would be just absolutely starstruck by.
Yeah. I think that's a fair statement. I mean, Derek is, my understanding, he's very approachable. But that would be one that you would look at me and you kind of go, I don't know how to talk to you. You're a Michigan kid, but I don't know how to talk to you because you've had an awesome career. Like, I don't know what to say to you.
I know. And he was my childhood. Like, he was my childhood, you know,
Yeah.
And even into my young adulthood. So, yeah, he,
yeah, that's who I thought you were going to say.
I don't know what I would say to him. He would be one where I would walk away and go, gosh, why did I say that? Like, that's so amazing. One shot. So, yeah.
Why are you kidding me? I can't believe I just said that in front of Derek.
Mm-hmm.
What would you say to A-Rod?
You know what? Shockingly, I've not watched his new documentary, and I need to do that because if I watched it and then saw him, I'd probably bring stuff up from that or like kind of, you know, compliment him on that or something. Yeah, I don't, you know, A-Rod is much as he can get under people's skin, he's very intelligent about the game. Obviously, he gives sometimes some cool hitting tips when he's on MLB Network. So, and when obviously Fox now. And so I'd like to talk to him about maybe some of those mechanics. And then also I'd probably ask him what it's like being on the broadcast with Poppy and Jeter. I would just love to know what that is like hanging out with those guys all the time now. And it's shocking that they're able to do that now.
Yeah. Yeah, if I could go anywhere in media outside of the Dodgers, right? See, Doug was right. I was thinking Jeter. If I can go anywhere in the media outside the Dodgers, I would have loved to do a roundtable with Mickey, Yogi, and Billy Martin, just to hear some of the crazy stories and the way that they painted the town every color that you could think of.
They did. They got into some absolute shenanigans.
They did. And I would love to sit down with, I would love to be on the set when Jeter, A-Rod, and Poppy are there because they play so many jokes on each other all the time.
Yes.
And sometimes from here to here, there's not a lot of interference for Poppy. So sometimes maybe what comes here hasn't vetted through here a little bit.
Mhm.
And it's always funny because A-Rod will respond and Jeter just, quiet dignity just kind of sits there, right?
Yeah, and they do, like, they have such a good dynamic because they take it so well. Like, they all take it
Yeah.
so well. And then, Jeter, when he first was on the first year, I was like, "Ugh, I don't know if this is his gig. Like, I don't know if this is his strong suit." And people still say that a little bit, like, he's kind of bland or dry. But I think now, like, after a couple years, and especially being with those two and the way they feed each other crap, like, I think he's coming into it and he's
Yeah.
definitely more comfortable than he used to be.
So just as just to show you the respect that I have for like Yankees fans, and granted, that I've interviewed people in Toronto, I've interviewed Yankee fans, everybody, right? So after Guerrero did the Yankees lose thing, you won't find it online, but I had told a number of people, um, I said, what are the best 4 words in the English language? And people are saying, well, I love you, or I love you too, and things like that. I said, no, the Blue Jays lose. And that was just out of respect for you guys, right?
Oh, thank you for having our backs. That was good.
Yes.
I have to say, it felt pretty good because there was a fan who was wearing a jersey that was seen at game 1 of the ALCS,
Hmm.
that said the Yankees lose. And so being able to repost that with I clip art to say the Blue Jays lose, that was a good feeling. Nice touch.
Yeah.
Thanks, Dodgers.
Yeah. Hey, we did what we could, right? We almost gave it up there, but Miguel Rojas said, hold my
Miguel
Gatorade.
Rojas saved the day, and he lives to see another day in Dodger blue. I love it.
Well, I tell you what, I don't know as a Yankee fan if you are loving the Dodgers. I don't know if Yamamoto has to buy any drinks in New York anytime he's there if he walks into a Yankees bar, right?
I mean, I'm just saying, maybe we get him eye. Maybe we get him eye. That's the one player I also didn't mention that I would love to see with us because I like his little feistiness. He wants to take the Dodgers down, so
Yeah.
I'm for it.
Yeah. Okay, so tell me about, so you had this incredible experience. I can't wait to hear more about it. But tell me a little bit about, we've got a few more minutes. Tell me a little bit about your thoughts as it sits right now for the 2026 season. And then as maybe you guys plug a hole or two, if there's holes or two. I'm not saying that your team is, a team that's rebuilding. So if there's holes or two, you plug those holes, you get Cody back. What's your team look like for 2026?
It's an interesting off season because for the last, 5 years, probably. I mean, they've made some pretty big moves, either leading up to the winter meetings or during them. So to be on, today being the last day, and I sincerely hope I'm not missing any notifications from Jeff Passan. But I think to be in the last day and to not have anything moving yet, like fans are definitely kind of like, what's going on? What's taking so long? But being there and seeing what all goes into it. I mean, I was even sitting in on some of the manager press conferences and they're like, I'm trying to think whose it was that I was sitting in on. It was Rob Thompson. And we were talking about the Shore, somebody asking about the Schwarber deal. And he's like, it's not done yet. So to kind of get that intel of like it's a lot more complicated than people think to get these deals done and to actually like complete them after they get them like out there is far more complicated than any of us can imagine, I'm sure. And so having that kind of insight, I'm not freaking out. It's the Yankees. I think too, I mean, there's been a lot of rumors leading up to the winter meetings, like, oh, they're not going to spend over 300 million and blah, blah, blah. But I mean, rumors are rumors for a reason. And Alex Cora said that himself. He's like, you can't believe anything that you say out there. And so don't buy into any of that. So I think like that too. It's like, no, we're not going to play that game. The Yankees always hold their cards close. And I just think they're not revealing anything right now, but does not mean they're not like nose to the grindstone behind closed doors, because I have every reason to believe that they are trying to get some deals done. So I think, you know, they just have some complications. They've got, maybe not complications, but they have to be a little more strategic this year because they have a lot of holes to fill, right? The bullpen, they completely offloaded the bullpen. They've got to build up around David Bednar now and Ryan Yarborough, who they've brought back. But they're looking at the infield. They're also trying to get the Bellinger deal done. They've got a lot going on.
They got a lot of
I
moving
think
parts.
that's just it. These conversations aren't like 5-minute conversations, and they have a lot of them to have. So I think that's just it.
I would agree with that statement. And there's a lot of moving parts. Does Toronto, was it just a Cinderella season, or are they going to come back hardcore? Is Boston building to where Boston is? Obviously, the Orioles got better today
Yeah.
with Alonso.
Yeah,
Right?
yeah. I actually put a tweet out about the AL East. I said, you know what? There's something about the AL East. I said, there's one thing about the AL East. They're trying to be the dominant division again, and they will be.
Yeah.
I think you can mark my words, and I'd love to come back and clip this for receipts later. There will be 3 AL East teams in the 2026 postseason, because there are 4 teams now ready to compete. And that's the thing. You just don't know who. The Blue Jays came out of nowhere.
Yeah.
You just never know who.
Who's not competing, do you think?
The Rays.
Okay. Yeah, that's fair
But
enough.
not because, I mean, I wouldn't count them out for being right there at the end with a race, because they have a very deep farm system.
Correct.
So you can never count the Rays out. So I wouldn't say that they are completely out of it, because I think they'll be competitive too. But I think like they're probably not quite on the other team's level.
I agree with you. I think that there's a lot of good balancing there. And you're right. There's a potential that 3 teams make the playoffs from the AL East next season.
Yeah, it could be that the Orioles go on a run. You know, I mean, they have what it takes.
I would not have, if you would have told me in the beginning of the season in late March that the Blue Jays were going to be 2 defensive outs away from winning the World Series in Game 7, I would have said, I don't know what you've ate. I don't know where you're feeling, but it's not this year. They're not going. It's going to be the Yankees and Dodgers again, or it's going to be, but it's not the Blue Jays.
Exactly.
Who would have thunk?
Exactly.
Right?
Yeah, you never know. That's what makes baseball so great. Like it's a long season, and so much changes from, May, April to October.
Exactly. 100%. Well, again, Jonna, as we kind of wrap this up, I want everybody to love what you're doing. So please, can you remind everybody one more time where they find you, where they can follow you, where they can interact with you, where they will be nice and they will not be mean. If they're mean, we will send people after them. Maybe we'll make it look like an accident, Jonna. I don't know. But anyways, they'll be nice. Where do they find you?
I think a glimpse into like my daily thoughts is, Twitter, obviously, because I put a lot of candid thoughts out there about my team, about every team. So 90s Yanks Kid is my Twitter. You can find me on my Instagram media page, Babes Media. And then obviously I write on New Jersey Sports, and that's who I was on. I was attending the MLB winter meetings on behalf of. So you can follow them. ONNJ Sports. Perfect.
And I first of all, Jonna has been a great friend to Top Fan Rivalry. We have a lot of people in common. We've had a lot of unique experiences. And she is on a scale 1 to 10. She's got to be about a 12 or a 13 for sure.
I think I went up because I used to be at 11, I think, on one of the early.
Now you're 12 or a 13. You spent a full hour with me. I can't wait to get you on with Leslie. We'll have some fun this year with the DWDX Top Fan Rivalry TFR. But we're so excited to have you. I can't wait. I hope we can convince you if you've got some time where you can put some thoughts down on paper. Love to put it in the clubhouse and just let
Definitely.
people experience it from a fan perspective. It's something that not everybody's going to experience. And I hope many more times you get to experience it. I hope next year you get to experience it. I hope there's more opportunity for you to get to meet other folks. And frankly, I hope I get a chance to get out into your neck of the woods this year so that
Yeah.
we can
Hey,
talk some
College World
baseball in
Series.
person.
Anyone that wants to hit me up when they're in town, if they want to come to the College World Series, I can't recommend it enough. And interestingly, today they announced that they did upgrade the facilities. They got a much larger screen in right field. They put an equally sized screen in left field, which they didn't have a screen at all before. And then they put one of the banner screens around the seats. So really cool
Love it.
upgrades here in Omaha. And yeah, I would love to see anyone that comes to town for that.
Love it. Love it. Love it. Love it. Looking forward to next week. We'll be back with the DWD Top Fan Rivalry. We might even have Jonna back next week for her and Leslie to talk hot stove. Who knows,
That'd
right?
be fun.
But we are so grateful for people spending an hour. Obviously, Jonna, stick around for a second. But we're grateful for everybody. Make sure you're following Top Fan Rivalry on Instagram and on Twitter. Subscribe to the YouTube page. We have a lot of fun things that we're going to be doing this year and cannot wait. Can't wait to maybe even get the tides turned and be on a Babes interview, right?
Yeah.
Where I get to answer the questions.
I know. You know what? I have let that part of Babes neglected. I've left it neglected a little bit because I'm a one woman operation now. So it's really hard to keep up with all the writing that I do and also like just general content stuff. But one thing I did walk away from these meetings going, I need to get that podcast going again, even if there's no like regular schedule, because there's so many people I want to talk to and have on, and you've been one of them for a long time. So I'd love
And I cannot wait.
love to put you in the hot seat.
Go ahead. You're lucky tonight we didn't do a start one, bench one, cut one, but we'll get you back in the hot seat.
Let's go. Fire them up. Get them ready for next time.
There you go. Next time. All right, everybody. Thank you so much for joining us. Again, please subscribe. Please follow. Please pay attention to everything that Jonna is doing. She is absolutely fantastic in everything that Top Fan Rivalry is doing and getting ready to do. We look forward to having you guys back. We will actually be back on tomorrow night doing a weekly review with Jackson, where we're going to go through the week of what's happened in baseball. So right back here, same channel, same everything. I'm sure Jackson will have something. Jonna, that show's so funny because we pick 3 different things that have happened in the week and then we talk about them, almost kind of like pardon the interruption. Mm-hmm. And Jackson always, we call him Top Fan Stats guy. He always picks these random facts and then gives me reasons why they make sense. Well, based on this guy, he hits this way with the sun at a 45-degree, like it's just crazy what he comes up with. And it's awesome. So we'll be back tomorrow night to do that.
And I'm fascinated and I feel a little inferior when I'm around people like that. I'm like, man, you're really smart. You're out of my league.
Don't tell anybody, but some of the facts that Jackson comes up with, they're so cool. I'm not gonna lie to you, they're so cool. But there's been times where I just said, yeah, well, in other news, so-and-so that's
out of my league.
You don't know what to say, right? So you walk into your first class at Harvard and you're going,
right.
What am I, Elle Woods? How did I get here?
Exactly. That's how I feel with Meg Knows Baseball. If anyone's, or no, not Meg, Brooke Knows Baseball. If anyone has seen her popping up, she's kind of a newer account. She makes up her own stats and she's incredibly smart. So you should go follow her. It's very interesting to listen to her.
Very interesting. All right, all. We will see you again. Stick around, Jonna, for a second. Have a great night, everybody.